Hey, what's up? This is Annie here. It can feel like there aren't that many good options for techwear pants which have both the look that a lot of people are after and the performance as well. Often you'll find one of those things without the other. You take things like Gorilla Group, for example. Often the pants look great, but then don't really have any kind of performance aspect to them other than a lot of pockets all over the place. Or you'll have myriad outdoor brands who produce outdoor-ready, nice, noisy, waterproof trousers, but ones that don't really have the sorts of looks that people are after. So recently, Garuda, who I hadn't heard of before, sent me a message saying, look, we got some cargo pants, we make them out of Schoeller dry skin, or 3x dry, 3x dry, as it's officially known, and with kind of a techwear sort of look. And that sounded pretty good to me, so they sent me the Asasaa Pant, which sounds a little bit like someone just did that on their keyboard to make the name up. And to go along with it, they sent me this little black number as well, which is nice and stretchy, comfy, and quite warm as well. So yeah, it's pretty good. These retail at $260, which of course is no small amount of cash, and I think possibly the most expensive pair of pants I've looked at on this channel to date. So let's find out exactly what you're getting for that cash. At face value, these seem like a pretty minimal pair of pants compared to the Tech Ninja stylings of something like a Gorilla Group pair, or even things like acronym pants will often have things like floating pockets and other various features. As it turns out, there is actually some decent storage capacity in these, it's just tucked away a little bit. So not only are these front pockets pretty big and spacious, but they actually double up. There's kind of like a split in each pocket, so you're effectively getting double the space for both of those front pockets, giving you a surprisingly large storage capacity. Now I kind of like this approach because it's like giving you the same kind of capacity that something like a Gorilla Group pant or an ACG pant would give you with those cargo pockets halfway down the leg, but in a much more sort of refined and more minimal way. I've mentioned grey man aesthetic in quite a few videos now, and it's something that I really should do some dedicated content on. But this is exactly the kind of thing that will play into that style. It's all about under the radar looks, concealed performance. It also allows you to imbue other styles of outfit with some techwear performance. For example, I don't think that these kinds of pants would look out of place on a kind of normal standard streetwear fit, whereas I think something from a brand like Gorilla Group would, and even a slightly more formal kind of smarter look. I think these do have a nice kind of shape to them, and because they are quite minimal, I think from a distance you can get away with having them appear quite smart. Now, of course, this flexibility is primarily not down to the double pockets, but to the material that these are made out of. As I mentioned earlier, these are Schoeller dry skin, which means although from a distance these might look like a normal pair of trousers, they actually are inherently water resistant, and they are a little bit stretchy as well. The way people always talked about dry skin, I expected it to be insanely elasticy, like you know when you buy those girls' jeans and they're like skin tight, so they're super stretchy, but they're not really like that. They do have a little bit of a stretch to them, there's a little bit of give, but yeah, they're not kind of too springy or anything. But it is enough to make these feel pretty comfortable when they're on and give you a good range of movement as well. And as I say, these are water resistant and in fact breathable as well, so they're a pretty high performance pair of pants, but they don't really look too outdoorsy or anything. The benefit, of course, of that material itself being water resistant is that you won't have the same problems as, say, Nike ACG cargo pants, which are DWR treated, but the material itself is not inherently water repellent, which means that if you wash it, especially if you wash it a couple of times, then you'll have to reapply that treatment, whereas with these, you don't have the same problem. I'd say this is a mid-weight fabric, maybe even a little bit on the lightweight side. It's certainly more lightweight than the ACG cargo pants, for example, so although it's maybe not suitable for super cold weather, I think this is going to be pretty decent for a range of temperatures up until it starts getting kind of warm enough for almost shorts weather. You'll notice that compared to the model pics, mine actually look a lot slimmer. Reason for that is these guys are able to do the same sorts of customizations that Antwon do. So I asked for a much more aggressive taper than they do by default. So although it's quite spacious up around the thigh area, by the time you get down to the ankle, it's actually come in quite a lot. And I think that gives it a really nice shape. It's quite a classic techwear shape to go for that strong tapered look. And I think again it helps work with that kind of smartness aspect. I think these have the same cut as you might expect from like a modern pair of chinos or smart trousers. I'm sure they could also crop them or do other kinds of custom measurements. So if you've got something in particular in mind, or you just want to get something that is going to be the perfect fit for you, then these guys are definitely someone to consider. And in fact, I think that makes them pretty unique. The only other people that I think do this kind of service in the techwear space, especially with Schoeller dry skin, is Antwon. And I did have a check up of the prices, and for like an equivalent pair of pants, these actually come out at about $50 cheaper. Yes, you're getting the brand name with Antwon, which they've kind of built up over the last year or so within techwear, and you are getting, I think, more options really to pick from Antwon, in that they have quite a big selection of different cargo pants that you can then customize, whereas Garuda only have 2, maybe 3 different models. But if neither of those things matter too much to you, but you do want a customized pair of cargo pants, then you could be saving yourself $50. Overall, I think they did a really good job with the sizing. I gave them a leg opening measurement based on the ACG cargo pants, and I think they used that to make a really nice tapered shape. There's some elasticated parts to the sides which will expand a little bit, so these do get a little bit more comfort than just straight around pants. And they have belt loops as well, which hopefully are wide enough for most tech-weary belts. They're wide enough for this Riot Division one that I've got here, for example. So if they come up a little bit big, the belt will sort that out. If they come up a little bit small, then the elasticated waist will hopefully help negate that a little bit. So on first glance, or to the average onlooker, these might not really appear to be that special, and maybe they're missing the slightly over-the-top tactical style that you might expect from a lot of tech ninja gear. And let's face it, $260 is a lot of anyone's money for a pair of pants. However, if you take a bit of a closer look, some of those nice little features do reveal themselves. You've got those double pockets which give you a surprising amount of storage space without looking too military or tactical. A performance material in the form of Schoeller dry skin, which is both inherently waterproof and breathable and stretchy, so it's pretty comfy, and all of that without really looking like a very outdoorsy pair of pants. Few techwear brands use that material, basically acronym and Antwon, and even fewer allow you to customize that. And if you compare to those two brands, Garuda actually comes out the cheapest. So I would certainly recommend considering these in the following cases. A, if you're after Schoeller dry skin specifically because you've heard people talking about it and you think, yeah, this is a cool material that I want to get involved with, and it does certainly seem like it's a pretty worthy material. Or if you want something like a single pair of pants, which is going to be pretty versatile and something that you can wear with all kinds of outfits, not one that you're just kind of restricted to tactical tech ninja type stuff. Or if you're thinking about getting something made to your measurements, or some kind of custom feature that maybe isn't really found very much, but you want to save yourself a little bit of cash compared to the alternatives. In all of these scenarios, I think that these Garuda Asasaa pants certainly do a pretty good job. Of course, if you want some maximum tech ninja crazy 1001 pockets kind of job, or if you want something that's going to give you a techwear look, but you maybe don't care about the performance and you want them at a pretty affordable price, then in those cases, these aren't really the pants for you. But that, of course, is something for another video. Let me know what you guys think of these down in the comments though. Do you think that potential versatility of the quite minimal look that these have gives them value, or do you feel like if you were going to spend this kind of money, you would rather go something that's totally over the top and super tech ninja-y, but maybe something that you can't really wear with non-techwear gear? And of course, if you enjoyed the video, please do hit that like button, and I shall be back next week with something else fun. So thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Shout out to Ruben and to Despondent UK, both of whom came to say hello in real life. Yes, I do actually leave the house sometimes. And shout out to all the people who watched the affordable jackets video and would now like an affordable cargo pants video to go along with that. As I kind of mentioned at the beginning of this video, I think it's quite hard to find things which both have the aesthetic and have the performance as well. And generally when both of those things are involved, it tends to make the price quite expensive. But what I'll do, I'll have a little scour through the interwebs, and I'll probably find some things which maybe have the performance but not quite the look, and then some things which definitely have the aesthetic but maybe not quite as much performance, and then you guys can kind of decide which side of that is more important for you, and then either way you'll have some options to pick from. If you like this video and you want to see some more, then of course, unless I forget, they will be going up there. And if you made it to the end of this video but you're not subscribed, then you might want to consider hitting that little subscribe button on one of those two sides, and then when there's new videos coming out, then you can check those out as well.